So a retail group says it accepts police don't have the resources to investigate every report of crime. And this comes off the back of a recent directive that was sent to staff relating to Police Files Management Centre, or FMC, titled Assignment Changes, Theft and Fraud. The directive said that from 26 March, so the beginning of this week, the FMC was applying nationally standardised value thresholds when assessing theft and fraud files. The value thresholds were generally general theft, $200, petrol drive-off, $150, shoplifting, $500, and fraud, pay wave, online scamming, etc., $1,000, and all other fraud, $500. Police have since clarified this was not a firm rule, and investigations were triaged on a combination of value and solvability. Retail New Zealand says ideally we would have police turning up to every report of crime, but we understand that they just don't have the resources to be able to do that. Now, in the meantime, the police commissioner has said today in a statement, he sent out asked for a reminder to be issued to all district commanders that they should continue to catch offenders wherever possible, regardless of the memo's threshold. Richard Chambers said that he wanted to reassure the retail community and the public that retail crime is one of his top priorities. Ash Parmar is a retailer, small business owner and a member of the government's Retail Crime Ministerial Advisory Group. And it's great to catch up with him again. Hello, Ash.
Hi, Leah. How are you?
I'm good. It has been a while, my friend, and things are good with you, I hope.
Yes, it's good to talk to you, but obviously when retail crime stuff, I like having a quick chat with you, but also just put probably some good, sensible talk out there, which I enjoy doing with you.
Now, what's happened with this so-called memo with the FMC? What is the confusion here? Are they hiding something? What's your take on this?
I think in the first instance, RNZ did a good job of, I guess, highlighting or breaking news or whatever you want to call it about this directive, because obviously I had not heard of it, and I like to think I'm quite switched on and well connected. They did a good job of it, but I think everyone needed to take a deep breath and let either the police commissioner or the police minister respond. And I see that police commissioner has responded and further clarified, that if something has been put out there, it was not the intent of it, the way it was portrayed, maybe in the RNZ article. So it's good he's proactively come out and sort of debunked the confusion. In saying that, there's countless examples I can think of continuously, Leah, every week that I'm aware of, where police simply could not help because it's just a resourcing issue. There's just simple facts. There's just not enough police force available because they're just so overstretched. But also, they are continually responding to the same things, which we should be pushing back on as a society, like all these car racing that's going on around Hamilton at the moment takes up a lot of resource in domestic violence, all that kind of stuff. So I think people just need to take a deep breath and maybe just not look down the police part, but also look at why it's an issue, why they're so overstretched. And, just have a pragmatic approach.
Ash, how come, though, the commissioner wouldn't have known about this? Shouldn't all these I keep calling it a memo, but all these directives, don't they start at the top?
That's the thing. That's what I found very interesting as well. That and I see Matt Turney, and Matt is someone I have a lot of respect for, and I've spoken to him a few times. He's helped us with retail crime stuff very, very quickly, especially like the funding of flock cannons and other issues very, very quickly. He understands the retail space really, really well. But I think it's all just very, very confusing. But like you say, 48 hours is a long time in the court of public opinion. So at least the commissioner has come out now and sort of just put a stop to all of it and sort of, I guess, issued new orders and asked all the district commanders to sort of understand the scope and scale and just, respond to stuff. But I just want to re-highlight, there are countless, that's the interesting thing. People get really upset. They see a news headline, but it's already happening. There's so many instances where a retailer or public who's watching this crime unfold thinking, why is the police not here? But that's actually already happening, but they see this news headline and they just get quite upset.
And you touched on it, Ash. The truth is we also just don't have enough police, do we, to respond to retail crime, shoplifting, drive-offs, you name it. They're not there.
Yeah, but there's some other pragmatic solutions coming. Again, I can't, as one of the board members, allude to it, but the next tranche of stuff that's going to come soon will hopefully help police actually deal with some of these criminals very, very quickly, which are the changes that the retailers have long sought, because the prosecution for retail crime, especially shoplifting, is very, very low, or if never really happens, because police just uses discretion repeatedly. So there's changes hopefully coming in that space that will hopefully help the police really, because, that's how I've approached it. I've yet to come across a lazy policeman. I've come across a busy policeman repeatedly, or a police lady, but I've never come across a lazy one. They're always just rushing around. The other thing, I guess, people, if they wanted to, what they need to look at is if the online tools that police are using working properly, and how much of the crimes that are reported through the 105 reporting tool are actually being investigated. I know the team Matt actually leads. They do a really good job of identifying some of those the highest offenders who have multiple files. They've probably gone to a Kmart, a Bunnings, a Bottler, or Super Liquor within like a 10-day period and doing multiple hits. But there's a lot of angst out there still with retailers, when, say, a retailer lost $250 worth of fuel in a drive-off, they think they've submitted all the good video and everything, but they just never hear back from police in a meaningful way. So there's still a lot of work to be done. Yeah.
You mentioned the 105. That you're saying, people do report, but are you saying that people aren't using that system, or you're not sure police are following up on that system?
I think the easiest way to put it is retailers overall don't really have a lot of faith in it, because the reply back from police is so low. But also remember, their confidence is driven by either someone being arrested or a prosecution happening. And I think that's why if some of these new proposed tools, which I can't talk to just yet, when they come and hopefully, teasing the audience. And
do I get an exclusive when we can?
Yeah. Well, you should have Minister Goldsmith on. I'm sure he will love to talk to you in detail about all of this stuff, or Minister Nicole for the courts. But I think we just got to understand this is going to happen. We're going down this path, and we just got to prosecute people. We can't just let people go. And then 105 tool, we don't really see any data out. How many reports were made, how many were arrested, or what is the prosecution rate. My understanding, it remains very, very low. But maybe you can have the police commissioner have come on, or maybe even have Matt on actually, and just ask him some questions. Hey, what's actually happening with these tools? Yeah.
So you said that because I was going to ask you, how do retail feel at the moment? Are things getting better? And you just said that they've kind of lost faith and still feel that way.
Well, the thing is, Leah, if you remember, you and I have been talking for some time now, right? And I've been advocating in this space for some time. So the conversations, when they got at the height of it, was all around ram raids and robberies. So
that's right.
Ram raids have come next to zero now. There's very isolated isolated incidents reported. But that's very simply because all the retailers have put bollards up. There's been very few easy targets out there, because for a long period they were not erected properly. So it was just too easy to steal a car and launch it into a shop. In terms of robbery, I would like to say police is doing a really, really good job, like especially in the Waikato. Whenever we've had a flare-up of 2 or 3 robberies quickly together, they're always followed by mass arrest of, 4 to 8 youth or some adults involved. So I think police is being very, very resourceful and probably have the mandate now to pick up some of the youth in particular, because for a long time they were sort of holding a lot of the cities to hostage, during 3-4 robberies in quick successions, or during the ram raids in quick successions. So, but the shoplifting is just persistent. It's and probably a lot of the looting has shifted to shoplifting. Especially in the big retailer stores, they just fill up a trolley and then they're gone. Everyone's feeling a bit, do I touch? Where, if you remember our chat, the first announcements that came out of the crime group,
was
the Ministerial panel, was the citizens' arrest. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, where did we get with that? Nowhere.
So, that's been announced. It's just going through the juggernaut of Parliament, and then hopefully it'll be on the floor soon, you would think, because it's been a few weeks now. So, my educated guess would be
so citizens' arrest is being debated.